Hello, my name is Mac Wenberg, and I'm going to talk to you guys today about piracy and fair use. Now, my target audience for this speech is anyone who is copyright infringing. Anybody who is thinking about either illegally downloading content, streaming it, or processing it and using it to get capital gain without the permission or the rights. All right. So today, we're going to talk about a couple things. What is web piracy? What is fair use? And is it right? Should we risk copyright infringement? All right. So, web piracy, what is it? Well, it's a fancy term for copyright infringement on the internet. It has nothing to do with Jack Sparrow digitally rendered. What copyright infringement is the use of work or works under copyright infringement laws, or under copyright. The copyright holder's exclusive rights, that's what we're talking about. They have many of them, like the right to reproduce, to distribute, to display or perform a copyrighted work, or to make derivative works off their own without the permission of copyright holder. That's kind of a lot about what copyright infringement is basically taking someone else's work, distributing it, making money off of it, selling it as your own, or gaining their content for personal reasons without paying for it or asking permission. That's what infringing upon copyright laws adheres to. So what is fair use? Fair use is special. It's an exception to the exclusive right granted by copyright law to the author of the creative work. In the United States, copyright law, fair use is a doctrine that permits limited use of copyrighted material without acquiring permission from the rights holders. But let's break down a little bit about what fair use really is. What makes up fair use? Well, there's a number of things. In fact, there's 5 things. Whatever you're trying to use fair use for, these things need to apply. A small portion of the original material needs to be used. The commercial value of the original is not diminished in any such way. And the new work is a critique, a satire, or it's educational. The 4th one is the benefit to the user is predominantly other than commercial. And the new work is predominantly original product of the user. So let's talk about what I just said there. So a small portion of the original material is used. So you use a little bit of a song and you want to create a work off of that little bit. That's fine, you can use that. As long as you're not, diminishing the commercial value of the original work, which means as long as your work isn't getting more publicity and more money than the original author, that's cool. The new work that you're creating using that small part of that song needs to either be around the area of critique, a satire, or it has to be used for educational purposes. You can't just rip it off and then say it's yours for no reason. The benefit to the user is predominantly other than commercial, which means that you need to be using it for something other than making capital. New work is predominantly original product of the user, which means that whatever you're using this music for, it has to be part of your work, and you have to make it yours by either remixing it, tearing it up, or sanctioning it out. Or it has to be under other rights, like for instance, there are certain riffs in music that can be used whenever, and they've been used by everyone and anyone. Those are completely fine to use. Fair use is very hard to gauge, and sometimes there's a lot of lawsuits that placate fair use laws. It's a very tricky road. Let's talk about the commercial data for this. Around 75% of online users find nothing wrong with online piracy. In fact, they think it helps. And 67% of digital piracy sites are hosted in North America and Western Europe. Only 67%. 12.5 billion in economic losses each year due to piracy in the music industry. That is a huge figure that needs to be brought down. That is way too big. Musicians can't be losing that much money. This is too much. Punishment of copyright infringement varies case by case across countries. You can get anything from a $150,000 charge per song or per instant, and you can do lots of jail time. Why do people pirate? Well, the pricing. A lot of people who pirate don't have the money, or the music is unavailable in their country, or the usefulness of piracy is strictly, as it said, useful, because you don't need to track it, you don't need to monitor it, you don't need to pay for it. There's a whole bunch of different things that go into that. It's a good shopping experience. You don't have to wait. You get to know exactly what you're buying. You get to listen to whatever it is and then download it, and you don't even have to pay for it. That's part of how piracy works. Now, why shouldn't we do it? Why shouldn't you risk copyright infringement just on the basis of getting one song off the internet? One, it's illegal, and two, not only are you hurting artists that already exist and are making capital, but you're ruining the music industry, as well as these other industries that are making capital off artist works and copyrighted works. Even though 5% of violators are caught and tried by a jury, those 5% pay up to $150,000 per offense and can do jail time. It's just not worth it. And that 5% is 5% of 3 million people. And everyone that's been caught has either been tried multiple times or been in jail for long periods of time. Now, is it really worth it? No, because on one hand, you're buying their work, or you're not buying their work, and you're promoting the new artist that needs the music to get out there. They want anybody and everyone to pick up their work and listen to it. But what happens to the people that are already making big capital on their music? What if you start, downloading their stuff and not paying for it? And you already know it's good music, so it's not even like, I want to listen to this before I buy it type of thing. This is we're stealing from you, basically. It's basically copyright infringement, and online piracy is the equivalent of you reaching into a grandma's purse and pulling out like $25 and then running away with it. Any questions?